Hi everyone, in this video I'll be talking about specifically how to outline and plan for your IA using the practice IA that you were giving as an assignment. Okay, so you have this commentary planning sheet in your booklet. You also have it on the portal resources, so use it as much as possible for any IA that you're writing or plan to write. This is a very good tool. Now, so we have the article over here, so let's start with that and see how we can fill out the sections of the commentary planning. So as we're reading, let's highlight and think of what is the problem that the article is discussing and what's the solution. How do we think it's going to be represented in a graph? Let's look at that. So France is banning plastic cups, plates, and cutlery. So obviously this is the solution. So let's highlight that. The government intervention is the ban of France. Okay, so it's going to ban anything that is made of plastic cups, cutlery, and plates, and anything that is not made of biologically sourced materials. Okay. This law comes into effect in 2020, an ambitious plan that aims to allow France to make a more effective contribution to tackling climate change. Okay, so here's our problem. Although ecologist organizations are in favor of the ban, others argue that it violates free movement. Okay, so this is the problem and solution that we've highlighted. Before moving on to what is the opinion of different people, let's think, how is this related to economics? Okay, so let's go to our planning. So the problem presented in the article is the climate change problem and the effect of plastic on the environment. Okay, so mainly it's talking about how plastic is non-biodegradable and hence it affects future generations. Okay, so when the current consumption of plastics is affecting future generations, what concept is this related to? And this is how we need to think. So the current consumption is not only affecting the consumers and producers, it is affecting third parties through the environment, it is affecting society through it being non-biodegradable, it is affecting society of in the future. So it's affecting future generations. So this is linked to negative externalities. This is a type of market failure where the marginal social, this is a type of market failure and it is a negative externality of consumption. Okay, so because it's related to the consumption of plastics, not production. Make sure you understand the article. Okay, so you can define also marginal social cost and marginal social benefit and marginal private benefit. Okay, and the final thing that this plastic consumption is related to future impact on future generations. So this is related to the idea of sustainability. So now that we know the key terms that we're defining, this is also an indication of what is the graph of this problem. So it's obvious that the graph is of negative externality of consumption. So please refer to my previous video to see what a complete graph should look like. Please make sure that everything is clear, everything is labeled. So you have the marginal social benefit, marginal private benefit. I'm not going to label everything right now in the video, but this is where you should label everything. Marginal social benefit, okay, marginal private benefit over here, or it's the other way around. Marginal social benefit is lower than marginal private benefit, and we have the marginal social cost is equal to marginal private cost is the representative of the supply curve. And a good application of the article is to label the axes themselves linked to what the article is discussing. So don't just say quantity. Quantity is really bad. You need to say quantity we're talking about plastic packaging, plastic cutlery, whatever. So plastic packaging, and you need to mention the price of plastic packaging, and we are talking about France, so it's related to the euro. So we're going to be mentioning the price of plastic packaging in euros. Okay. And since we don't really need any, we don't have any prices or quantity mentioned in the text, so you don't need to. Let's look back at the text. Okay, there is no prices, no quantities mentioned, so we don't need that. Okay, so after explaining the graph, make sure you explain it fully. A, B, C, D. Now, what would be the graph of the solution? It's a banning. France is banning the use of plastic cups. The ban of the use of plastic cups means that the demand curve would decrease. So this is something that is important to understand, that when the government bans its use, it has no effect on the production of plastics. It has an effect on the demand. So it has an effect on the marginal private benefit. Oops. The marginal private benefit shifts inwards. So this is what is going to cause, and we're going to be having a shift of marginal private benefit inwards, and that would be the graph of the solution. That marginal private benefit would be MPB1 in the middle, and this would make the quantity consumed in the market closer to the social optimum, the welfare losses lower. After every graph, you have the A, B, C, D, 4 and 5 sentences. Don't make them too long, and you move on to the evaluation. Now, make sure your evaluation has depth. You're mentioning the advantages and disadvantages on the stakeholders. Who do you think is getting worse? Apply information from the article. Apply from the article. Now, if you continue reading the article, you will find over here in this section the main opinion mentioned in the article is from Pack2Go Europe, which is an organization representing the packaging manufacturers. So what do you think they're going to say? Of course, they'll be arguing against it. So they are fighting it. They hope it doesn't spread. So mention a quote how they are fighting it, how they are challenging it in terms of violating of European Union rules. And this is where you can apply the article, but the other stakeholders are not represented in the article, so you're going to be using your own knowledge of the advantages or how they gain or lose. You're going to be using your knowledge of sustainability and how the advantage of banning the use of plastics may affect consumers in the future. So you're talking short-term, long-term. You're talking short-term, long-term, and you may talk about how maybe consumers right now may not be so happy. Maybe some consumers want to use plastics and the government just prevented them. You also may discuss how you think it's effective. So this is where you conclude with a judgment. Do you think really this is the most effective thing a government can do, to just ban? Do you think there should be an alternative solution? So write that in 3 to 4 sentences. Okay, so I'm not going to make this video any longer. I want to know how you think. I hope this helped. Please fill out this commentary planning sheet before starting your IA. It will make your life so much easier before writing. Okay, bye, and follow your word count. Follow your word count, 750. Okay, bye-bye.